Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. The early morning light always has a certain magic to it. Soft, low and gentle, as though the world is still deciding how bright the day should become. And today, as the sun rises over Chester, that gentle glow settles across this ancient stones of the city wall, making everything feel a little calmer, a little slower, and somehow more timeless. There are few places in the UK where the past wraps around you so completely, and fewer where you can walk right on top of it. Chester city walls create a loop, not just around the city, but around centuries of stories, layers of history, and moments that have shaped this place into what is today. As the walk continues, the air still carries that cool edge of the morning, the kind that wakes you without rushing you. Birds call out softly from the trees below, and the sound blends with the distant hum of the city beginning to stir. But up here in the walls, everything feels slightly separate, as though you're standing in a quiet pocket that hasn't quite been disturbed by the day ahead. It's peaceful, unhurried, and full of space to breathe. The stones along the walkway have been worn by centuries of footsteps, soldiers, traders, monks, merchants, and countless visitors who have wandered along this elevated path before. Walking here in the early hours gives you a chance to appreciate that sense of continuity. Every step feels connected to something bigger and older, but still steady and grounding. It's the kind of place where your mind naturally slows down, your senses tune in, and the atmosphere does most of the storytelling for you. The height of the walls offers a view across Chester as it gradually wakes. Rooftops, spires, towers, and the gentle curve of the River Dee in the distance. Nothing is loud or dramatic at this time of day. Instead, everything looks washed in gold and pale blue, as though the city itself is gently stretching into the morning. You can hear the faint stirrings of life below, a car door closing, a car starting, the early footsteps of someone beginning their routine. But from up here, it all feels softened. The walkway continues, patches of greenery appear along the edges. Trees overhang sections of the wall, their leaves catching the early light and fluttering slowly with the breeze. Birds weave between the branches and the rooftops, each one starting its own small morning ritual. There's a simple little moment, but one that adds a feeling of gentle life to the old stone surroundings. You may notice how the walls change slightly as you walk. Some sections open and spacious, others narrow and enclosed, each shaped by centuries of additions, repairs and adjustments. There's a mixture of textures and colours on the stonework, and even though the walls form one continuous loop, every corner has its own personality. Some parts feel perfect to pause and look out over the city, where others feel more like corridors of time, guiding you more gently forwards. Early morning is when the wall truly shines. Later in the day, the route becomes livelier, with visitors exploring, photographers pausing for shots, and the general energy of the city rising up around you. But right now, the soft sounds of the world waking up. The walls offer a sense of calm that's hard to find anywhere else. If you take a moment to stop, lean on the railings, and simply look out, you can feel the stillness deep down. The rooftops below form a patchwork of shapes and textures, some old, some new, some neatly aligned, others charmingly irregular. Chimneys rise up in clusters, bridges across the streets in narrow spans. The soft morning haze adds a gentle blur to everything in the distance. There's something lovely about watching the city before the day fully begins. It feels like you're catching it in a quiet moment before the pace quickens and the streets fill with movement. Walking along the walls, it gives you a glimpse into Chester's character. The blend of Roman, medieval and Victorian influences that shape of the city today. But the joy of an early morning walk is that you don't have to analyse or interpret anything. You can simply enjoy the view, absorb the quiet, and let the place speak for itself. The details are there if you want them, but the beauty of this moment lies in just experiencing it as it is. As you continue along the walkway, the shadows begin to shorten as the light strengthens. Buildings catch the sunlight at different angles, warm on one side, still cool on the other. giving them a scene of a gentle contrast that you only get at the start of a day. The walls themselves glow softly, their stone reflecting that warm colour that makes everything feel reassuring and familiar, the kind of light that invites you to keep walking, even if you had no particular destination in mind. One of the most peaceful parts of this early route is the way the world sounds different from up here. Conversations, footsteps and traffic all feel distant and softened, something like background noise. Instead, what stands out are the subtle sounds, the wind brushing against the stone, the call of birds, the soft rustle of leaves from the trees below. It creates a simple, soothing rhythm that matches the pace of the walk. As you breathe a little deeper, fall into a gentle stride, and let the moment unfold naturally. Every so often, you might pass under a small archway or reach a section where the walls curve. These little changes offer different angles and views, each one slightly shifting your perspective of the city below. It's one of the small joys of walking the Chester walls, the way the environment changes without losing a sense of its continuity. The route never feels repetitive, instead it feels like a slow, steady presentation of the city from all sides. The early hour means that the sunlight occasionally flickers through gaps between buildings, creating pockets of warm brightness on the walkway. These little patches of gold stand out against the cooler shadows, and stepping into them feels like moving into a moment of warmth and clarity. It's simple but incredibly peaceful, a tiny reward along the route. As you walk, you might notice small details that are easy to miss later in the day. The quiet movement of the clouds reflecting on distant windows, the soft flutter of pigeons taking off from a rooftop, the way the trees shift gently in the light breeze, the faint smell of the morning, crisp, fresh and slightly earthy, mixing with the lingering coolness of the night. These are the things that fade into the background once the day gets busier, but they stand out beautifully in the stillness of the morning. Chester is a city that carries its history proudly, and nowhere is that more evident than from the walls. But beyond the history, there's also a modern city just beginning to wake up, people heading to work, shops preparing to open, the quiet warmth of daily life settling into the streets below. From up here, you can see all of it at once, the old, the new, the past and the present, all woven together in a calm and steady rhythm. There's something grounding about watching a place wake up. Instead of the rush of the midday energy, you get a gentle, slow building of the morning. This gives you a moment to reflect, to enjoy the calm, and appreciate the beauty of its simplicity. Walking the walls at this time of day, it feels like stepping into a quiet space, set aside just for you. A pause from the noise, a breath from the busyness, a reminder of how peaceful a city can be when you meet it at the right moment. As the path continues, you might reach sections where the walls widen slightly, giving you more space to walk or pause. These are perfect spots to take brief moments, lean on the stone rails and look out over the city. You can see the patterns of the streets, the alignments of the buildings, and the way the sunlight gradually spills across the rooftops. It's a gentle, unhurried view, the kind that encourages you to stay just that little bit longer. Other sections overlook narrow streets, where all buildings stand closer together, with their distinctive facades, layers of architectural styles that show how the city has changed over time. From up here, you can simply admire the shapes, the colours, and the way everything fits together. Early morning light tends to soften the edges, giving even the sharp lines of a rooftop a more gentle, almost dreamlike quality. It's a lovely contrast, ancient stone walls guiding you along, while the city below slowly prepares for another day. As you walk, the curve of the walls create a natural rhythm. Turn a corner, see a new view, pass through a new section, step out into a wider one. Each transition feels smooth and unhurried. It's part of what makes this route so calming. There's no single moment that demands attention. Instead, the whole experience unfolds slowly and steadily. It's a walk that encourages you simply to be present. There are points along the walls where the hike gives you a slightly more elevated perspective. Here you can see how the city stretches out beyond the immediate streets, rooftops rising and falling in gentle patterns, with the church spires, towers and distant trees breaking the skyline. The soft morning haze often lingers at this height, adding a light mistness to the edges of the view. It's atmospheric without being dramatic, peaceful without being empty. You may also come across quiet spots where the walls widen into small viewing areas. These are perfect moments to pause, rest your hands on the cool stone, and take a slow look across the city of Chester. The early sunlight creates long shadows at this time of day, highlighting the contours of the buildings, the texture of the rooftops, the natural arch of surrounding landscapes. It's a lovely scene, understated, calm, and beautifully balanced. As the sunlight grows a little stronger, it begins to warm the stone beneath your feet. You can feel a gradual shift from the cool morning air towards the start of a comfortable day. Shadows shorten slightly, colours become a touch brighter, and the warmth adds a quiet reassurance to you that the day is truly beginning. It's a gentle transition, and being up on the walls lets you enjoy that change at a steady pace. Continuing along the route, certain parts of the wall feel almost like hidden walkways. Narrow sections curve between old stone towers and tucked away staircases, creating a sense of wandering through a peaceful corridor above a city. These little areas feel secluded, almost sheltered, and the early light filtering through makes them feel even more atmospheric. It's a reminder that even within a bustling city, there are places where time seems to slow down. From time to time, you'll notice how the ambient sounds shift depending on the surroundings. When you're above a greener area, the birdsong becomes more noticeable. When the walls pass above a busier street, you may hear the soft increase of movement below, footsteps, conversation, the early rumble of vehicles making their way through the morning. But nothing ever feels intrusive from up here. The height and open air soften everything, creating a soundscape that stays calm and easy on the senses. Walking these ancient walls in the morning also invites small moments of reflection. The smooth stone beneath your feet has been shaped by centuries of weather, but also by countless people who have walked here before you. It's a humbling thought that this path has carried so many stories, yet remains quiet, open and welcoming. The early hour allows you to feel connected to that long history without any rush or distraction. As you continue, the walls offer occasional glimpses into enclosed gardens, courtyard, or smaller lanes below. These hidden pockets of the city may be still and completely quiet, untouched by the morning movement. You might see flowers still closed from the night, or a patch of sunlight beginning to touch the corner of the stone. They are small, simple moments that add pleasure to the walk. The challenging angles of the light create subtle variations in the atmosphere. In some spots, the walkway is bathed in warm gold. In others, the shadows stay cool and calming. Together they create a gentle rhythm, light, shade, light again, that mirrors the slow unfolding of the morning. It's the kind of thing you notice without needing to focus on it. It simply becomes part of the overall peacefulness. Further along, the walls may guide you across small bridges that pass above the streets. These little elevated paths offer a brief change in viewpoint, a chance to look directly down into the narrow roads, quiet pavements, and the occasional early cyclist or dog walker making their way along. It's a reminder that everyday life below is moving, while you remain in this calm, separate space above. There's something wonderfully grounding about being able to see both the quiet top of the wall and the beginning of daily activities below you. It gives a perspective that feels balanced, peaceful, but still connected to the world around you. You're not isolated from the city, you're simply seeing it from a gentler angle. As the loop continues, you'll eventually notice how the city slowly brightens. The rooftops take on warmer colours, the streets become more defined, and the overall view feels clearer. There's still a softness to the scene, but it's a gradual giving away to the clarity of the day ahead. The early calm remains, but it blends with a sense of anticipation and quiet momentum. As more people begin to appear below, the walls retain their peaceful character. They offer a steady, elevated path that feels timeless. Whether you stop to look out over the city or simply continue walking, the atmosphere remains one of calm reflection. The blend of ancient stone, morning light, and gentle movement creates a space that feels both grounding and freeing. On some parts of the route, the trees rise up nearly to the height of the walls, their branches casting patterns and shadows across the walkway. As the sunlight filters through the leaves, small shifting patches of brightness appear on the stones underfoot. It adds a lovely sense of texture to the moment, a reminder of how nature and history coexist here, each adding its own quiet beauty. Occasionally you may pass someone on their own morning walk along the walls. A simple nod or a quiet smile is often exchanged, a small recognition that you're both sharing this peaceful start to the day. But even then, the walkway never feels crowded at this hour. There's plenty of space to move at your own pace, pause when you like, and enjoy the surroundings without interruptions. As you approach the final sections of the walls, the light often feels a little stronger and a little warmer. The city below is fully awake now. The first shops opening, early commuters passing through, the gentle sound of footsteps and distant conversation drifting upwards, but at this height, it still feels removed enough to stay relaxing. The energy below becomes a soft soundtrack rather than distraction. The last part of the loop brings with it a sense of completion. A full circle around the city, the walls guide you back to where the walk began, offering one final chance to look out across the Chester in the early morning light, the rooftops, the towers, the river in the distance, a gentle mixture of nature and architecture. It all becomes one in a calm, steady view. Walking the city walls at this time of day is a reminder of how beautifully simple this can be. No rush, no pressure, no crowds, just a steady rhythm of footsteps on the ancient stone, the warmth of the morning sun, and the quiet unfolding of a new day. It's a peaceful way to connect with the city, with the past, and with the moment you're in. As you step off the walls and return the streets below, you'll carry a little of that early morning calm with you. The day may get busier, the streets louder, the pace quicker, but the quiet start remains, grounding you and giving you the rest of the day with a gentler beginning. It's a small gift from one of the most peaceful walks in the city. As always, thanks for watching. Please like and share and consider subscribing, as it will help the channel grow. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Please enjoy the remaining footage of the walk around the wall. It's very beautiful, and once again, thank you for watching, it means a lot.